Mahalo nui loa for joining us today for our training. This phase is about the mental aspect of your training. And all I'm really going to ask you to do to help you with the mental aspect of your training is to read a book. So the beautiful thing about a book, no matter what book it is that you can control the rate at which that information comes to you. So unlike seeing things on television or on the internet, you can choose the rate at which that information enters your mind. The other thing is that it allows you to do just that, to focus on that one thing. Because it's very easy to look at things on your phone or do other things while you're watching something on television or some other form of media. But when you read a book, you have to be fully present. And that in itself is a valuable lesson. So I've been a bibliophile ever since I was a little kid, and I always have more than one thing that I'm reading at any given moment. So usually one of them is just for fun, it's a novel. The one I happen to be reading now is Ian Fleming's Casino Royale, the first James Bond book. And although some people might think that the martial arts in Bond films is only in the movies, it's actually also in the books. So in the story, Bond actually meets an adversary who's quite capable at fighting, even though he's smaller. And so he actually speaks of it after he loses a altercation with this person. He says, Bond again felt puny and impotent. Nobody but an expert in jiu-jitsu could have handled him with the Corsican's economy and lack of fuss. The cold precision with which the thin man had paid him back in his own coin had been equally unhurried, even artistic. So pretty cool as a lifelong martial artist to be able to see that. And this is sort of a fun little journey that I'm doing with a friend of mine, where we had actually read the books together in high school, and now we're revisiting that as part of our friendship today, even though it's across the many miles between where he is now and where I am now. So along with that, I also look at something that is nonfiction, and the current book I'm reading is Classical Bujutsu by Don Draeger. Don Draeger is a pioneer martial artist who pretty much opened up the field of hoplology, or the study of warrior culture. And as a child I met him briefly, and he was quite an inspiration in always wanting to look at not just what happened in history or how you do a martial arts move, but really to ask and have answered the question of why. So that's part of why this book is a good one. Also, since just recently I was in Seattle, I'm taking another look at my friend Sifu Chris Kent's book on how to think like Bruce Lee, as well as Bruce's first work, Chinese Kung Fu, which was a gift from my student Ninja Nate and signed by Taki Kimura. This particular book is called My Hero, and it's about how extraordinary people also had people that they looked up to and admired. I'm going to quote from one of those. What I learned from my father is that it doesn't matter who you are, but how you act. What counts is your kindness and gentleness and your ability to forgive. Those are the qualities that really define each of us and separate out the true heroes. And that was said by President Ronald Reagan. Part of the reason I'm thinking of President Reagan is that he had quite the battle with Alzheimer's in his later years. As many of you know, much of the work that I do involves working with our kupuna, with our senior citizens. And so in addition to teaching safe falling classes, I look at books like this, which is a memory activity book, to come up with ideas on helping to sharpen their memory skills. Senior Grandmaster Rick Alamany used to teach me that part of the reason he woke up every morning and did his entire system was to keep it sharp so that he could be of best service to his students. He never wanted to lose his art, and he felt that if you didn't practice it, you weren't going to be able to retain it. Use it or lose it. I always admired that about him and tried to honor him by following his example in keeping up and maintaining the various different things that have been passed to me by my teachers. And things like this are helpful because it gives you some fresh ideas on how to do that. Everyone has their own spiritual walk, and for me this is very helpful. This, of course, is the Bible, but it's not just any Bible. This was my grandfather's Bible that was handed down to me, and this particular Bible was with him when he went to the Holy Land and he was serving in Jerusalem, helping build the state of Israel after World War II. And he wrote little notes in the margins and things on thoughts that he had when he was in particular places. So when I have this, it's not just the good book in the sense of being the Word of God for me, but it also represents the love and confidence my grandfather had in me in trying to become a better person. And so in these difficult times, I find this especially helpful. Along with my grandfather, my father, very seldom in his life did he reach out and advise me to read something. But whenever he did do that, it was very meaningful. When he was a kid, he didn't have the benefit of really feeling loved as a child and having that feeling of being raised by an ohana that really cares about you. Instead, he felt more of a connection with the teachers he had in martial arts and the people he grew up surfing with, especially the older ones that became his advisors. So people like Uncle David Nuhiva and surfers he knew, George Downing, and of course the great Duka Hanamoku were people that believed in my dad in a way that he didn't see it himself until much later. So this is one of the books that my father gave me in high school. It's called How to Be a Gentleman. And it's meaningful to me that that was something that he felt that I could benefit from to help me become a better person. Because to be a real man is to be a gentleman. There are generations and generations of kupuna, wiser than I, who have written down their thoughts and their experiences to share to other generations that would follow them. And so in that sense, it's our kuleana, our responsibility to learn from them and to carry that torch and pass it forward, to have respect for the past, application for the present, and preparation for the future. So today, as part of your training, please read a book. All right? Until next time, we come in peace. We look for and see the good in others. We train up mutual respect.